We're gonna learn a lot of things today.
So my story is that goes way back to fifth standard. And Mama always said at home that I can debate, I can argue well, and I'll always be a good devil's advocate. So I was like, okay, I caught on date.
So, what decision would you take based on what criteria?
I have a very rare quality in me that I don't listen to anyone.
Okay. You used to wake up and say it.
Say it, look at it before sleeping, everything. Like every time I saw it, that was like there. I was actually getting into my knowledge mode right now.
Welcome back to another episode of AMP Podcast, where we learn and grow together.
We're gonna learn a lot of things today.
Today it's a very important topic to discuss. And I had called a guest today, and
Hooray!
there was a guest.
You,
The second guest of this podcast.
do you want me to change into a guest?
Please. 3, 2, 1.
Boom.
Whoa, that transition was
Damn,
smooth.
am I good?
Atish? But let's be honest, Adv.Rizzeria. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, everyone.
So glad that you made time for this. And I want you to introduce yourself to the
Okay,
audience.
so I'm just a normal human being who is keen about law. You can also call me a junior lawyer by this point, I guess. So yeah, that's me.
Lawyer in the house. So, first of all, I want you to really tell the audience about, as you said, you are a lawyer and you are into junior lawyer. So, how did you got the calling to be a lawyer?
I like the word that you said, calling.
Yeah.
So my story is that goes way back to fifth standard. So I think I read newspaper once for school assembly, and someone commented about how I can talk well, and I was like glad that thought remained in my head, and I developed love for law only in seventh standard. That too because the civics that I studied was really good. So I thought, okay, this is something I can do. And Mama always said at home that I can debate, I can argue well, and I'll always be a good devil's advocate. So I was like, okay, I caught on date. So yep, the seed was sown like in seventh grade. That developed in 10th, much more. And I made sure that I chose the same direction to get my goals that I wanted to.
Wow, nice. So, civics subject
Civics.
was the turning point. So, I'll ask you a civics question. Just
Hum.
kidding. Just kidding.
I was actually getting into my knowledge mode right now.
So, the question I really want to ask you, because some of my friends, they just cleared their 10th standard and they don't have any clue which side to go about, what stream should they take. And since you have already reached the other side, if you were starting, say you just cleared your 10th standard, and if you knew what you knew now, so what decision would you take based on what criteria? So,
Okay.
so yeah,
So,
based on the current thing.
First of all, I would like to congratulate all the 10th standard students. You all have done really well, whatever it is. It might be what you expected or what you didn't. So no worry, chill about it. So one thing I'll talk about my stance on was that I worked hard, okay, and I put in a lot of efforts where I knew where I could score well. So eventually, I ended up getting good percentage. I might not disclose it, but I mean, I just don't want to. But it was quite good. It was way too good to get into science. And everyone back home, they told me to take science stream and do something in that. But for me, one thing was very sorted in my life that I know what I want to do. I know how I want to do it, because till date, however I did things in my life, maybe completing my law, it's like no one guided me through.
Okay.
It's just that I acquired knowledge and I went to that step. So it has a very different ring to it when you do it by yourself. So same thing, I would tell these kids right now is that just because another person is taking science doesn't mean that it's meant for you. Understand what you enjoy. Don't not listen, I'll say, but don't pay much attention to what others have to say. Not all science students are smart. They are just sometimes forced into it and they don't enjoy. Make sure that your end goal is to enjoy who you become rather than choosing who you end. So that is what I will always put forward. So yes, if you're comfortable taking arts, even if you have around 80s, 90s, definitely go for it. If you are comfortable, if you really want to do science and commerce, and if your percentage is not that much, maybe you put in more efforts if you are sure about it. But listen to your heart, understand yourself before choosing what part you want to go to. It's not just about streams that you're choosing, it's about 10 years of your life that you are going to be investing in.
Yeah. And apart from that, like, did you ask anyone about what should I take and how it turned out? How do one take a decision taking the things that are happening right now? So, for example, for me, when I took engineering, I had no clue what after engineering what should I thought that I'll get a 30K job and I'll be set for life,
Oh,
but
that's a lie. That's
that
a lie.
did not happen, and I didn't ask anyone to what's the current status that is happening. Only in third year I came to know that okay, this is the thing, and I messed up. So, what are some of the things that you would prefer? 10 standard or maybe 12 standard can just approach someone and get that.
Approach. Okay, so I'll be very honest here. So I have a very rare quality in me that I don't listen to anyone.
Okay.
So again, I took it on my own terms. No, I didn't ask anyone
Okay.
about, because I was very sure that I want to do arts. Then I want to get directly into a law college, and that's gonna be me. So that's what I did. I took arts. So, but it is always beneficial to take what was it called?
Advice from?
Advice or experts' advice
Okay.
from someone else who has, because experience talks.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are very sure that this is what you want to do, go ahead. If you're not, if you're in that very turmoil stage of confusion, then I would rather ask you all to ask someone who has been there. But I think the main clue that I would give is what is your aim?
Okay.
Do you want to be a doctor? Do you want to be a HR? Do you want to be a businesswoman or businessman? Okay, so what is your goal? Because this arts, commerce, science, these are just your pathway to that.
Okay.
So don't choose one and then decide. Decide what you want to be, so you know where are you headed on. So it's better you talk to someone who's already at your goal. That's what I would say.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and like we always have the narrative that science is the best, but do you believe that?
I don't really believe that, because I think there's a lot of scope in arts, there's a lot of scope in commerce, but I think I actually loved studying arts more than anything else, because I felt that was my soul's calling. I could do what
Okay.
I could do besides studying to do law. I could do the other things. For example, I love history. So I got that in arts, and I could understand economics because there's always a part of it. So again, the commerce part is also kind of there, and then I could understand or study psychology, sociology, which is again give me a better understanding about society, and which kind of helped me with my law journey.
Nice, and that's a great insight from you. And the last question I would ask you.
Please don't ask me if it's for some sections and all. Please, I get it a
No,
lot.
it's not. It's something that I want, which inspires you. So, any quote that inspires you and why?
So quote. So this is one quote that I always lived by when I was in 10th standard. That is, work hard in silence and let success make the noise.
Wow, wow.
Literally, like entire 10th standard, this was like written in bold on my bedroom door. And I used to always wake up and say this. And I think it did make justice to my percentage, I'd say.
So, you used to wake up and say it.
Say it, look at it before sleeping, everything. Like every time I used to enter, that was like there.
Wow. So it's like affirmations. I could say it's like morning affirmations.
You can, because I didn't know that at that point that, it boosts you, but
Wow.
it's only now that I realize
So
things.
it really boosts you, right?
It did. And I still in love with that quote right now. Like, anyone can live by it, I feel. Like, you can try it by yourself.
Yeah, and see the changes that happen. So awesome, awesome to have you on this podcast. That's
yes.
it.
Thank you so
thank
much
you so much.
for having me here.
Welcome. It was great. So I hope you guys also have taken something from this.
Yes, and
podcast.
please feel free, if you all know me, to contact me, or you can ask some questions in the description below.
Yeah, comment sections are open, but they are always
Flood
empty.
them. I'm always free to answer them for you.
Yeah, so we'll wish Adv.Rizzeria all the best for her future endeavors. So
Thank you so
thank
much,
you so
guys.
much. And it's time to call our Atish back. 3, 2, 1. Oh, that was another smooth transition.
What a
Oh,
podcast
I
guy.
missed you, man. What a podcast.
What a
with
podcast.
Man.
I'm glad that we had a new guest on our show, and
that was great.
I'm very excited that everyone sees, her
Yeah.
and like
And get the inspiration.
inspiration.
Yeah, that was the highlight.
Exactly.
So I just came to know that you have this teleportation.
Yeah, bro. Like
power.
it's some magic.
So
I've gone to have some food and stuff.
Oh,
by the time
so that was
you
the
had a
smooth
quick-
thing. I mean, I'm so
Yeah.
glad.
I think that's
And
all.
that's-
I don't want to
that's
take much time.
Much time, and that's it for today's episode. Hope you guys like it. See you in the next
One.